Tippy time my damies, Toughgate here, and today's build is called the Warmind's Gauntlet. This build originally started with me testing out the new seasonal trace rifle, the Path of Least Resistance, as it can roll with Volt Shot on it, and before I knew it I had this Arc Titan build that was a little bit different to what we're currently used to. This double special build was able to shine in a similar way to our solar bonk hammer builds because it's got infinite arc melees. We've achieved this through using the exotic helmet, the insurmountable Skullfort. Its perk, Transfusion Matrix, kills with arc melees trigger health regeneration and fully restore your melee energy, allowing us to loop this as long as we're getting kills with it. I've compared this to our bonk builds for several reasons. Baby hammers grant cure when we pick up our hammer. Skullfort fully heals on a kill. Baby hammers, assuming we don't yeet it off the map, we can constantly loop. Skullfort gives us our melee charge back to us in less than a second. But we start getting some separation in terms of performance. A standard hammer with Roaring Flame times 1 does 12k damage, Roaring Flames times 2 is 15k damage, and at times 3 your baby hammer does 18k. A standard shoulder charge does 21,000. No wind up, no hoops to jump through, it's already doing more than a maxed out hammer. It's also great because if you whiff a shoulder charge, you don't have to scramble around on the floor like you're looking for your lost contacts. We're utilizing seasonal mods like Low Entropy Superconductor to stun our unstoppable champs. This mod saves us heaps of space. I've been loving the Parasite lately. You can stack up to 20 kills before you unload to deliver a massive 300k damage. We're also running the Weaken Clear for that 15% debuff. You stack this with the Worm byproduct damage, plus whatever stacks you might pick up along the way, and this thing just slaps. This thing might not be for you. If it's not, just pull out that boring ass Taipan again. Outreach mod reduces melee cooldown when using our class ability. Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when using our melee. I'm using a thruster for its evasive capabilities, but dealer's choice. And our melee, as mentioned before, is the Seismic Strike. This also has an area of effect blinding feature when you damage a target, and its radius is increased when you are amplified. This allows you to steam around the arena like a freight train. Pick a guaranteed kill in a group of enemies, they die, the rest of them are blind, allowing you the time and giving you the safety to circle back around and finish off the job with another strike. A standard shoulder charge will kill all minis and miners, but for the mages we're going to have to add something a little extra. Melee Wellmaker mods, Seeking Wells mod for easy collections, and Well of Ions. When picking up an Arc Well, your next melee deals increased damage. This takes your shoulder charge from 21,000 to 34,000. This makes it easier to drop those mages. There will be some variance of course in terms of different leveled activities, but for a simple, repeatable attack, it's great fun turning yourself into a bullet. Reaping Wellmaker, after activating your class ability, your next weapon kill spawns a Void Well. Well of Tenacity gives us 5 seconds of a 15% resist. It comes in handy for those slap fights, but come DPS rich environments I might want to swap this out for an Elemental Charge and High Energy Fire. I'm running a hands-on mod. This gives us bonus super energy for all our shoulder charges, and there will be plenty of shoulder charges. The reason we can safely run a double special build is because I literally use my shoulder like a primary weapon. Shoulder go brrr. Naturally we are using the T-Crash. This might not be nearly as good without the Cuirass of the Falling Star, but is still definitely a utility. I would recommend Finders, Loaders and Scavengers if you are going to give the Path of Least Resistance a whirl. I've crafted mine with Stability, Arrowhead Brake, Light Battery, which does drop the mag and ups the reload. This is optimal to get that Volt Shot buff working for us. I've also gone with Dynamic Sway for increased stability. I'll sometimes swap this out for the Div, as it shouldn't always be left to the Horlocks. My Wastelander has enhanced 1-2 Punch and enhanced Pugilist. 1-2 Punch might have been nerfed, but it still plays well, and Pugilist will get me that melee charge back in a couple of kills if I've lost it due to an unstopped stun or just stunning and blinding a larger target. Knockout, critically wounding a target or breaking their shield infuses your melee attack with arc energy, and increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating targets with melee attacks starts health generation and makes you amplified. Now this is a small health bump, but don't worry, the exotic helmet will do a full health bump. I'm actually going to mix it up and use the lightning grenade. Touch of Thunder is going to give us a second grenade charge, and this jolts targets hit by the initial blast. This is awesome at applying that jolt at the beginning of a damage window, and with sustained damage from the trace rifle you're getting another jolt tick every second. It's the same story if you're using it against mages. Jolt a target, kill it with the trace, reload, jolt, and then just keep this ball rolling. Spark of Magnitude for increased grenade duration. Spark of Recharge, whilst critically wounded, your melee and grenade energy regenerates more quickly. Spark of Resistance, whilst surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. This is a must, particularly in endgame, as that 30% damage resist can be the difference between you living or dying. Spark of Beacons works really well if you are going to use the trace rifle. Whilst amplified, your arc special weapon, Vinyl Blows, create a blinding explosion. So now both our shoulder charge and our trace keep them blind so they don't know what's what. On the chest, I'm going to be rocking a Void Resist and a Concussive Dampener. A lot of this season's Nightfalls have Void Burn on them, so this has been very handy. If you take anything from this video, guys, please try out the Skullfort. It's so much fun, and if you pick your targets properly, it's mad dangerous to boot. This build will work in most content, but it'll always have you smiling. I'll make sure to leave a dim in the description below. If you have enjoyed this video, please sub, ring that bell for weekly content. If you've got any questions or suggestions, feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, tippy tie my damies, what a tie.
Bottom of everything, he's the most tip-top.